Good morning. Today on Spotlight, Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence of Michigan's 14th Congressional District. She's a Democrat whose district stretches from parts of Detroit and Wayne County through various suburbs in Oakland County, winding its way up to the city of Pontiac. And later on this program, Detroit Branch NAACP President, Reverend Wendell Anthony. It's Easter Sunday, April the 21st. I'm Chuck Stokes, and this is Spotlight. You guys have done the 100-day mark or so of this new Congress. In a nutshell, the state of Congress and the state of America.
I would say that we are writing history right now. We are seeing things we've never seen in our history with an administration that has a totally different way of governing. We have one of the most diverse Congresses in history, where you are now looking at very diverse voices and opinions, diversity of age, of religion, of economic status, of really democratic beliefs. And so it is a Congress that I feel that is more representative of the public. We have throughout years painted Congress as the Democrat and the Republican, and they had a homogeneous belief and structure. Where now governing is very, very complex. It's emotional. It is at times exhausting, because when you have an administration that should be leading, and then you have opinions that sometimes in your own party you have to put your arms around and understand and embrace. And so it's fascinating.
You have a record number of women in the United States House of Representatives. That has to make you feel good.
Feels real good.
You know, there's that old saying, if you want to hear something talked about, then you get a bunch of guys together. If you want to see something get done, then tell the women about it. Do you feel like you're getting things done with this record number of women moving into key positions and being heard?
So I have the good fortune of being the chair of the women's,
led by by Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House.
I have the good fortune of being the chair of the Women's Caucus, the Congressional Women's Caucus, and I'm co-chair of the Democratic Women's Caucus. So we are really zero focused on pay equality, on health care, on safety, and all those issues that so often are not talked about. But I want to tell you two issues that are very, very important to me as chair of the Women's Caucus. One is women's health. We in America have one of the only developed countries where the number of women dying in childbirth is increasing. And leading that are Black women. You think about it, in 2019, something that has been a part of being a human being our entire existence, we are regressing with all the advances in healthcare. And in addition to that, when you look at poverty in America, the largest group who are in poverty are women with children. And so when we talk about eliminating poverty or reducing it, we must talk about why are women in poverty. We just passed the equal pay bill. I got included in that. My amendment was to include a study on the disparity that starts with teenagers. So you look at jobs that teenagers, girls will do, babysitting and other jobs, compared to boys who will make more money. It even starts at teenage. In this Congress, the largest group of women of color have really made sure our voices are being heard.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. I got a whole lot of questions for you. Certainly some high-profile investigations going on. A lot of attention being drawn to immigration. We'll get those in, as well as a whole bunch of other stuff. We'll be right back with Congresswoman Brenda Lawrence. Stay with us. Let's take the investigations first. Are there too many investigations going on Capitol Hill right now?
No, unfortunately, there's a lot to investigate. We have an administration. I can tell you for a fact, he's profiting off of the seat of being president. He actually has his name on a lease for the Trump Hotel, and dignitaries in foreign countries choose that hotel to render favor from the president. He is making profit every time someone checks in there. When you look at Mar-a-Lago, where every time the president moves, about 60 people moves, and we, the taxpayer, pay Donald Trump for our federal government to be housed there. We have upgraded his property through security. We have Camp David that has all of the amenities for the president, but he is making money. Secondly, this president has throughout his campaign said things and implied things that leads to, is he really working with a foreign government? Is he really trying to make a profit through his business, his children, who are now in high clearance security positions, flying all over the country with us, the taxpayers, paying for their travel, paying for their protection, and what are the roles, and they have not divested of the leadership in the company.
You're a member of the House Oversight Committee.
Yes, I am.
So I assume you take that job very seriously,
Very
that
seriously.
you feel that
Yes.
that's the name on the committee, is to
Yes.
have oversight, and that you're an equal branch of government,
Yes.
of the three main branches of government here. You want the full report to come out?
I want the full Mueller.
You don't want everything didactic?
No, I do not. And I'm very concerned what phase and what shape and how much information
As
will be
we
denied.
sit here and record this interview, there's a fight over
Yes.
whether or not that's going to be released. What do you think the chances are, when all is said and done, that the American people will see the full report?
As it stands now, I don't have a lot of faith. I'm pretty sure this is going to be litigated. This administration has not, as you look at the tax returns, which should be a normal process, it's been normal for every other president. And we literally are here now debating and talking about the legality of the law that says that the president should turn over his tax returns when it's asked for by Congress. So I don't have a lot of faith in it. I was so disappointed in Barr when we interviewed. He is my attorney general. His responsibility is not to the president of the United States, it's to the law of the land and to the people. You know, I'm always hopeful. I'm hopeful for the president. I'm hopeful for our attorney general that they will fulfill their obligations, but I'm very concerned now that everything we do is being litigated.
Before the American people have to vote again on whoever will be the next president of the United States, are you optimistic? Are you hopeful that we will have immigration reform in this country?
Every single day, I ask leadership, let's go in a room. If we can't do it in a bipartisan way, as Democrats, we need to release an immigration plan. It is broken. We have to have this many people placed in detention centers, the children, all the things that we're talking about. But where it breaks down is how you respond to that. You know, the fact that the president has labeled every person that's seeking asylum in this country as a criminal is wrong. To say that we will treat children and families the way that we have, separating them, not tracking them, is wrong. We are better than that. And we as a country, and I'm taking the burden as a member of Congress to ask my Congress and ask my fellow friends, and I hope the Republicans will do more than just do the rhetoric and do the speeches. We must take care of this immigration problem. All we've been doing is stopping the bad acts. Like we stopped this administration from separating children.
Huge field of Democratic wannabes
Yes.
for president. When are you going to announce?
I'm doing exploratory. No,
Are you
I'm
doing
kidding.
that?
No,
Yes. Okay. Big field. Do you have a favorite? Have you endorsed anyone yet? Or too
Because
early?
every day we're getting a new person. I haven't come out because I'm hoping to finally get a real sense of who's going to be in it. I can tell you Kamala Harris is a person I'm so proud of. She is a person that's really standing up. And the new candidate that just announced yesterday, Pete, the mayor, being a mayor and listening to him and know from South Bend, he has been very impressive. And you know, I have so many people.
So you're just kind of watching the field?
I'm watching it.
Okay.
But I'm watching it with excitement because these are great people and the messaging and the energy is just electrifying.
Do you worry about what a lot of conservatives and Republicans are saying, that this is a very socialist agenda that the Democrats are putting forward? They're too progressive, too leftist, and we can't wait till the finals to be able to take them on because they're too radical for America.
You know, when Social Security came out, that was labeled as being a socialist plan. We have some things we have to do. We have to have universal health care. You can call it Medicare for all, whatever. At the end of the day, we're going to have to get together and ensure that in America you have health care. We must step up. We're not doing a good job with our environment. The Green Deal is not the answer, but the Green Deal has put it on the table so that we can start talking about, as the keepers of this earth, what's our legacy going to be and what are we doing to protect it for the next generation? Very
quickly, are some of your freshman colleagues being a little too vocal before they really learn the system of Congress?
You know, my grandmother used to tell me something. She said, Brenda, wisdom comes with life and with experiences. Energy and passion is your youth, and they have that. They're learning, and unfortunately all of their mistakes or all their blunders are public. And just think of the future of some of these young people who are in Congress now in their 20s and 30s. So we have a...
You're mentoring some of them or trying?
Yes, I am.
Is it a challenge sometimes?
They're brilliant and I respect that, but I do speak to them and I see some improvement in some already.
All right, so Nancy Pelosi speaker, does she keep a bottle of Excedrin by her desk? You don't have to answer, that's a rhetorical question.
She has a full-time job, let me tell you.
Last thing real quickly, you recently did something, well, Great Lakes funding.
Yes.
Will the president, will you make sure that that funding is in there and that it will not be gutted?
So I am on appropriations. I write the checks, and I can tell you it will be funded.
All right, no matter what.
No matter what
Dems
the president
and Republicans
says.
will come together.
Yes, we have. That's one thing the delegation is very strong on, is protecting our Great Lakes.
All right, and then demolition sites here in Detroit. You've been very concerned about that.
Well, we had, after Flint, I take very serious any cry for contamination. And so I have asked the federal government, because those demolitions are being done with federal dollars, there is nothing to substantiate that the soil is contaminated. It was a concern. And so I have doubled down with our federal government to ensure that we're doing the oversight that's needed. So I just want to be very clear. I was given a concern. And so after going through what I went through with Flint, I would never turn a deaf ear. And so we are validating, crossing our I's, dotting I's and crossing our T's. And Mayor Duggan has been very supportive in my call for oversight on the federal level.
All right, Congresswoman, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We'll get to the rest of it next time around. All right, and coming up, we'll sit down with the president of the Detroit chapter of the NAACP, Reverend Wendell Anthony, and somehow I think he'll mention the word Senator Kamala Harris, who will be his main speaker this year. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back.
Thanks, Chuck. Always good to be with you.
I would imagine for you, a year, 12 months just whizzed by. As soon as you finish one Freedom Weekend,
Absolutely.
You're looking up and you're planning the next one. What's the theme this year?
The theme is freedom, and freedom knows only one direction, forward. And the reason we say it that because when you look at the times in which we're in, there's so many moves to take us back, to thwart and to stop, negate the progress. Voter suppression, the kind of violence that's besetting our communities, the kind of hatred and division that we see. And it is challenging all of us, black, brown, yellow, white folk who want to do the right thing in every area. So we're saying that we all have come too far to turn back. So we're not going back, we're going forward.
All right, this is the 64th annual
Absolutely.
Fight for Freedom Fund dinner coming up. And a lot of times people get attracted to the big keynote speaker that you have coming in, which we'll talk about in a minute, but there's a whole lot more to that weekend. It's Freedom Weekend.
It's
not
Freedom
just
Weekend.
one day, one dinner.
Right.
The two things that really caught my attention is there's going to be a career day, and there's also going to be a job expo. Those are the nuts and bolts, right?
Our folk need to understand that there are some other fundamental things that the NAACP does and that the Freedom Institute does, which is what I'm a part of as well. Freedom Institute, along with the NAACP, puts on Freedom Weekend. What we're doing is bringing students from around the city to come. Students in STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, they're coming from all over. We want to talk about careers. There'll be speakers, there'll be workshops. We provide lunch for them. All this will be at Fellowship Chapel beginning the week of May the 2nd. And then we're going to have jobs. That's going to be at Fellowship Chapel Freedom Weekend as well. We're inviting vendors to come if you have jobs that are available. People need jobs. If you got folk at the house that want a job, can't get a job, refuse to go get a job, push them out to come see about a job at Fellowship Chapel during that week. We're also doing a health fair dealing with all the things from mental health to your physical situation to understanding what your healthcare providers might be providing to you. We're going to be doing some of that in relationship with DMC, and we're going to be looking at how we can work together to push some things out into our community. And then on Saturday, Chuck, we have the Dr. Ron Walters National Town Hall on power economics. We invite everybody to come. These things are free, open to the public. You can call 313-347-2483 or 871-2087, or go to DetroitNAACP.org or freeinstitute.org. Sign up online, register, and come out and be a part of Freedom Weekend.
You're also recognizing April Ryan,
Yes.
White House journalist.
Yes.
Bringing her in.
Yes.
Certainly she has been at the point of controversy from time to time in trying to just do her job.
Yeah, well, Chuck, you know, you're in journalism, you're in the media, and you know what it's like to be asking questions, somebody to tell you to sit down, and we don't want to hear that. Well, April Ryan is one of the lead Washington correspondents. She's in the White House at the press conferences when they have them, or the press briefings when they have them, and she's encountered resistance from the president, just simply doing her job, asking questions. He doesn't like her because she asks difficult questions. She's been told by 45 to sit down.
That's our job. Ask the tough questions.
And so we're simply saying we want to lift her up because she's speaking truth to power. April Ryan will receive the Ida B. Wells Barnett Freedom and Justice Award. I really want people to know about Darrell Wood Sr., and that's the young man that was in prison for 29 years, and he came back to help in the community with law enforcement and to do things that are motivating young people not to do and go by way of where he went so that they can make a difference in their lives.
All right, hang on one second. Let me give you a little break in there.
All right.
I'm gonna give you a chance to drink some water.
All right.
And we'll come back and I want to talk about the Lifetime Achievement
you.
Award and the keynote speaker, and then about another big thing coming here in July. We'll be right back with Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony. Stay with us. Lifetime Achievement Award this year to Reverend Dr. Charles Adams, longtime pastor of Hartford Memorial Baptist Church.
Who needs no introduction? Dr. Adams, we call him the Harvard Hooper, lecturer, writer, preacher, teacher, motivator, celebrating 50 years in the ministry this year. We're going to present him with the James Weldon Johnson Lifetime Achievement Award. Why? Because Dr. Adams represents a cadre of ministers.
He's a preacher's
and theologians.
preacher.
No question. He has personally inspired me. I used to just love to hear Adams in his heyday. We want to award him and acknowledge him for the work that he's done and for the seeds of ministry that he has created all over this community and all over this country.
Keynote speaker, the senator from California, Kamala Harris, also announced that she's running as a Democrat for president. this isn't the first time you've had big speakers
No,
before.
it's not.
You had Cory Booker, who's
Absolutely.
also running. He was last
Absolutely.
year. You've had Hillary Rodham
Absolutely.
Clinton. You've had Colin Powell.
Absolutely. And
the
Barack
li-
Obama.
Right, and the list goes on and
And
on.
we've had Clinton,
Right.
and we've had Gore, and we've had
You
Biden.
can say some of them speak at the dinner and become president. Some of them don't. So,
Well,
hey, but you got to get in the chair if you want a chance, right?
Talk to me. It's best to come here and speak
Right.
than to ignore here and not say anything. And so we're simply saying we're glad to have Senator Kamala Harris to come. As you know, the NAACP does not endorse
Right.
for presidential candidates. People can do that personally. So we're not here. She's not here just for that reason, because we've had other people, as you've mentioned. But the fact is, she is a very prominent African American. People want to hear her. There's a mystique around her.
Talk just a brief minute, and we're tight on time, but this also cannot happen without strong corporate support.
Thank you. No
and one of your
question.
co-chairs is Gary Torgo from Chemical Bank. Chemical Bank has really raised their profile in this community in the last couple of years.
They have, Chuck, and I want to commend and thank Gary Torgo. He's a good friend of mine, a good brother. And I mean that in the truest sense of the word. We have more than a professional relationship, it's a personal relationship. Chemical Bank, as you know, they have now moved to take the name of Cobo off of the Cobo Center. They're building a headquarters downtown Detroit. They are our senior corporate chair. We're very excited about that. Tanya Allen, the Skillman Foundation,
yeah.
is our senior community chair. Tanya's doing a great job in the city educationally, and she and Gary are a team. And we're very excited about all of our partners, AT&T, Quicken Loans, Dan Gilbert. We're excited about all the folk who are coming to the table, Fifth Third Bank. We're just excited. There's a place for everybody. It's the biggest event in town. No other city in America, Chuck, does it like the D. Nobody does it like Detroit. Not New York, not LA, not Atlanta, not Washington, not Chicago, only the D. And I'm here with Big Chuck. And we're saying, show up on May the 5th.
You know, I got to get you to be more enthusiastic about
next time,
life.
I promise I will.
But you got to do it one more time, and you got to do it in July, because the national NAACP convention will be right here
We're
in the
looking
Motor City.
forward to it. All roads lead to Detroit. The convention is scheduled for the city of Detroit July 20th through 24th. It's going to be at Cobo Center downtown. We want to bring the neighborhoods involved in that. You can also call the branch 313-871-2087. We have a blue ribbon host committee. You can get involved with that. There are going to be plenary sessions. There are going to be workshops. There are going to be youth activities. There's going to be big activity with DTE over at Beacon Park. DTE is also working with us on our dinner. Thank you for what they're doing, DTE. We're going to have Family Day. It's going to be something for everybody. All roads lead to Detroit.
Wendell Anthony,
Thank
thanks
you,
so
Chuck.
much for coming in.
Appreciate you,
Best
man.
of luck for Freedom
Thank you.
Weekend coming up in just a couple of weeks. And you can always click over to WXYZ.com, catch part of our overtime, part of this Spotlight interview as well. And I'm Chuck Stokes. Have a great Easter. We'll be back next week.